Namato Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening, everyone. So today is Friday, the 11th of December 2020. And as usual, here I'm Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. Hi Margaret, hi Manish, hi Anish, Jenny, Anuraj, and everyone. Those who are here today listening this Dhamma talk, Dhamma reflection. So yesterday I was talking about how one can follow good examples, and that is better for oneself and then others. This afternoon we had one visitor, and it's really rain and cold and windy. I haven't been outside of the center throughout the day. So this afternoon we had a visitor who was talking about something invisible beings and trying to have different objects and different ways to make herself feel safe from these invisible beings. Whenever we fear, we normally want to find some external things that will comfort us. And as soon as we got that, and we feel comfortable. I remember one of the child, she was about, I think, 9. She was so attached to a teddy bear. Without a teddy bear, she cannot sleep. Similarly, there are plenty of other people who have got this form of comfortness despite that cloth or the piece of paper, the piece of cloth or a teddy bear or any teddies, how worn out or smelly it is, but having them nearer give them comfort. Similarly, today, this afternoon, she was finding comfortable with having a different kinds of crystals. And this is simply a ways to comfort by external material things, to overcome our fear. And not only this kind of a fear, there are so many other types of a fear that people face. Uncertainty in life, uncertainty of a job, uncertainty of income, uncertainty of so and so, this and that. Particularly this time, now Christmas is coming, no jobs, everywhere locked down, different tiers to follow. They are facing some fears of how one can buy some presents to the family members, how to organize financially for the coming years. So various types of a fear out there. And we search for different forms and different ways to overcome that fear. And the more we try to comfort ourselves by employing material things and feel comfort, the far we go away from the reality of understanding the fear. According to the Buddha's teachings, one should be fear is to be reborn in the samsara again and again. And that should be a greatest fear, and then losing material things or invisible beings that are haunting, which is just for this life but not for the rest of the life. But the Buddha talked about the fear in the samsara that we have to overcome. And people search for so many reasons to find the good company, good friends, so that they feel that having a good company and good partners feel safe and secure and free from fears. And searching that never ends. One day you may feel comfortable with one person for a couple of days, a couple of months or a year, and then a couple of years later you feel insecure. You feel wanting to go away. So there's uncertainty there. So the Buddha's advice to all of us is that rather than try to find someone or something that gives us comfort so that we can feel and we can understand, we better understand ourselves. Once we have understood properly ourselves, then there won't be a fear of coming back into the samsara. And this is exactly what happened, that after the Buddha gave this teachings to the 60 newly ordained Arhat monks to go and teach the teachings for the good and the benefit of all the celestial beings and the human beings, Buddha himself also traveled to see the Bimbisara. First, on his journey, he wanted to go to see the 3 ascetics, which I will tell you in following days. So on the way to see these 3 ascetics, he was having a little rest in the woods. And during that time, the story was that there were 30 princes from the Buddha clan was having a party in the woods. And among these 30 princes, one didn't have a wife, so he hired a prostitute, so that all 30 princes got the partners. But somehow everyone drunk, but this prostitute lady, taking this an opportunity, she stole precious items of the princess and ran away. And all princes chasing, trying to find out this lady. And somehow, rather than finding this lady, this woman, they come across with the Buddha, who was having a rest under the tree, calmly meditating. Having seen this monk, shaved, yellow-robed, sitting calmly under the tree, all the prince went to ask with him, said, "An ascetic, have you seen a woman who ran away from here. And at this time, Buddha changed the question. The Buddha asked them back, saying that, what is in that woman that you are looking for? And then the Buddha was informed that they were Bada clan's princes, and they were having a party in this woods, and one of the juniors didn't have a partner, so he hired this prostitute for this party, and now she stolen the precious things of the princess and run away. And the Buddha asked back, saying that, what is more important, or what would you think is better, searching for this lady or searching for yourself? Finding yourself. And that question struck all the princes. So they decided to sit and listen the Buddha's teachings. Having seen their receptive nature of all the 30 princes, then the Buddha began giving a talk on the charity, morality, and the greater achievement, a greater happiness in the celestial realms, and also freeing yourself or freeing oneself from the sensual pleasure. And at the end, Buddha also talked about the Four Noble Truths to the all 30 princes. And then they become an arahats. After they became an arahat, all 29 wives of them came and complained to the Buddha that, oh, they are our husband, why could you make them to be a monk? What should we do now on? Because at that time there weren't, and Buddha didn't lay down any rules that one cannot become a monk unless got the permission. So Buddha simply accepted that they wanted to become a monk and accepted them as a monk. So all the wives came and complained. So the Buddha basically told them and taught them, and finally understood the Dhamma, and they become a good supporter of all 30 monks. In fact, these 30 monks are the main reason of later on so-called ceremony is Katina started. They become a Dhutanga monks or a forest monks and traveling all around and meditating, and then later on they were the cause of Katina ceremony, which started at the time of the Buddha and that continues until now. So here, after they have found themselves, they are free from all kinds of a fear. They have broken this samsara that they have to come back again and again. So that's why Buddha's advice is that atta deepa bhava. One has to be a light for oneself. And finding own self, rather than trying to find someone else to comfort you, trying to find someone that makes you feel comfortable. Even our own self is unreliable. How could we rely on somebody else to make you feel comfortable? It is impossible. Our moods are changing at all the time. Emotions are changing at all the time. Attitude is changing at all the time. And we are always influenced by these external entities. Always influenced. And as a result of that, we change our decisions. We change our thinkings. One day we are perfectly fine, and another we are not. So even ourselves, we cannot rely on a perfectness. How could we take others as comfortable or brings us a security? So that's why Buddha's advice is obviously to find own self. And this, if you've been listening, I normally used to give a simile of finding an own self. Who am I? So this story normally I starts off with is a film crew, a live television crew goes out to find something unusual in the busy city like New York. And on that sunny summer morning, they saw two monks are walking in the garden and realized, wow, this is a new thing, an amazing thing for the New Yorkers. So off they went, interviewed to the monks. The interviewer introduced himself and saying that he's so and so, and these are his crew, and he's in live television, and he wanted to know what is the most important things to know in the world. And this monk simply, without any further explanation, simply asked, "Who are you?" Not asked, actually replied, "Who are you?" And this interviewer probably thought that this monk didn't understand the English language, so he repeated the same question again with a very slow but very clear English speaking. And this monk again similarly repeated the same answer, "Who are you?" And again at the third time, when the interviewer asked in a similar pattern with a word by word, sentence by sentence, in a very slow and a clear way, explaining. And that third time, a monk simply said, "You fool, I have answered twice that one of the most important things to know in the world is who you are." Now we have to ask ourselves, do we really know ourselves? And I reflect during the meditation times again and again that if we take our name out, if we take out our nationality, our ethnicity, our clan, then who you are? Who do you think we are? It is just simply a massive piece of meat. Massive piece of meat that we are holding. It's called a molecule. And in each, like this massive fatty body, since the COVID we eat a lot, and I presume every one of you also eating a lot, and less exercise, you become a fat. So in your will, you will be moving this massive molecule from one place to another place. If there is no name, no nationality, no ethnicity, then what this molecule is about? It's just a moving molecule. So in this relation, as a one when a Buddha was talking with the Venerable Ananda, said, "Ananda, do you see the earth? And this earth, if you break it down, you will find only voidness, nothingness. the more you break it, this element of earth just becomes smaller and smaller, and at the end there is no such called earth. The question is there a earth or is there a void? Both exist in the same time and both doesn't exist at the same time. Our self also like that. This body exists in a concept, in a conventional level, but in a reality it doesn't. It's just a combination of so many material things, and this body doesn't feel. Many people have a misconception that this body feels. Actually, this body doesn't feel. This body is simply a material that hasn't got any feelings. The feeling is a part of the mind. And saying that I got this pain and a painful or happiness and it's happy, this is a memory of whenever you have this kind of a sensation and you call it happy, and this kind of a sensation you call it unhappy. That's a memory. And you recognize that. So that's a consciousness. Your mind is simply conscious about those situations. But in a reality, these doesn't exist. It's just a combination of it. So in order to be free oneself from this concept and a fear, we have to understand ourselves, finding ourselves. Who do we really are? As long as we do not understand, as long as do not realize this, we are still living in a conceptual world. And because of living in a conceptual world, we have this fear of a loss, fear of a change. Most hard one is we have to return back to the samsara. And these will simply fade away if we have done or understood ourselves well. But in order to understand ourselves, again, we have to have a right understanding, right attitude. And to get that right attitude of ourself is impermanent, not a reality, we have to work hard. And according to the Buddha's teachings, obviously, one has to attain the level of a sotapanna, the stream enterer, to be free from these all kinds of a fear and having freedom from all sort of a fear. Not only the fear of the invisible beings, but also the fear of coming back to the samsara. So, in this life, or while we are still alive, during this time, all what we need to find ways to make ourselves secure, comfortable, and take a refuge of our own self. The Buddha said that there is no greater refuge than our own self. And that is what we need to take on. And whatever we do, that helps us to understand ourselves, realize ourselves, and also checking every moment, every time, whatever we wish, whatever we are doing. And that defines what we will be. And that brings the comfort. In a short form, in a worldly living, if we've been practicing in accordance with the at least of 5 precepts, then we will be having no fear from anywhere. In the meantime, we have no fear of dying, because we know that there is no fault, no violation, and we'll be having a new good destination. So, finding own self is better than finding someone else. Finding our own self as a refuge than someone else. So with this, I end here tonight's reflection, and thank you everyone for listening, and may you all be well and happy. In a few moments' time, we're going to have evening chanting and guided meditation. You're most welcome to join with us. Until then, good night, and see you tomorrow, and see you shortly. Thank you. Sadhu.